Okay, so let's be honest, we've all been there. Watching somebody else's perfect morning routine on social media can be very aesthetically pleasing, but it can seem completely unattainable. That is why I am coming in hot with your Gratitudeology morning routine. Okay, what is that? Basically requires the bare minimum amount of effort while delivering maximum results. Why? Because it's simple and grounded in what I call gratitudeology, which is simply the study and practice of gratitude. Now, what we know from neuroscientists is that neurons that fire together wire together. If you start your day with gratitude, it'll help you coast on autopilot a little better. Things will just start to feel easier. And while we're talking about neuroscience, we're talking about the brain, AKA your melon. So I actually call this morning routine my reverse melon. That would be NOLEM, because when we flip our thinking upside down and try something new, that is when everything changes. So come on, ready to try something new? Let's dive in. Okay, first things first, nourishment. So the first thing I do in the morning is I grab a quick bowl of oatmeal. Yes, I am an AM eater. It settles my stomach. So if you like to eat, eat. If eating right first thing in the morning is not for you, get yourself either a cup of coffee, get caffeinated, or sit down with a nice lemon water. That's a great way to start off your day right. Whatever it is that you pick as you're nourishing your body, this is your first time also to nourish your energy. So just to be clear, this is what I do for those 10 minutes while I'm eating that oatmeal instead of scrolling mindlessly. So here's how it works. You sit down with a notebook while you're eating or caffeinating, and you write down 3 to 5 affirmations. But it's the way you write them that's important. So I'm going to teach you a process called scripting, and it's big in manifestation circles. So what is scripting? I write the things down as if I'm grateful that they have already happened. I'll give you 3 examples. I am grateful that mornings come so easily to me. I'm grateful that I acted loving and kind today. I'm grateful that I closed the deal in that 11 a.m. meeting I have. So your brain doesn't actually know the difference between whether or not these things actually happened. So by stating that it's already happened, your subconscious believes that you can, that you've already accomplished this thing, and that's going to make you more confident going into it. In contrast, think about how you usually program your brain first thing in the day. How many times do you start the day complaining? I'm so tired. I don't feel well. I can't wait to get back into bed later today. Hope everybody in this new business meeting doesn't think I'm an idiot. There's no way I'm ever going to get everything done. This day is just completely overwhelming. What a wash. Oh, I just want to give up. You are literally hardwiring your brain to perform in that manner all day long. From a place of I can't, I don't feel well enough to, I'm already exhausted, why try? When we make a different choice and we intentionally script it, we feel that to our soul. Next up, the big O, organization. So while you're still seated with that notebook, let's set a quick intention and add a dash of structure to make you feel powerful, organized, and in control. Write down your top 3 priorities for the day. No more, just 3. Now, look at the thing on your list that feels the most overwhelming and gratitudize it. Gratitudize it? What the hell does that mean? Right, let's get into that. So take the thing on that list that makes you want to literally puke. The big task, the lengthy assignment, the difficult phone call, and flip the script. So here's what it could look like. So instead of saying, oh, this presentation's going to take me so long, I don't even want to start it. Instead say, I'm so excited to jump in and bring the story of this campaign to life. I'm excited for the opportunity this will give me to play with my creative skills and build my discipline in completing this from start to finish. It's going to give me such a sense of pride, accomplishment, and gratitude when I'm done. Or another example, instead of saying, I'm so terrified to talk to my boss and ask her for a raise. Instead say, I'm so grateful for the chance to step into a bigger leadership role. And it's really cool to have the opportunity to workshop my confidence skills in having this conversation. Do you see the difference between that and toxic positivity? Toxic positivity is just gritting your teeth and pretending everything's okay. Gratitudizing something is just seeing the good in it, seeing what could come out of it for you. A new skill, an ability to get a little tougher, to do the hard thing and feel proud of it, rather than focusing on all that could go wrong and how hard it is. It's just a simple flip of perspective that can completely change your vision going into a day. Number 3, light. Getting light into your eyes in the morning starts your circadian rhythm. Studies show that it's incredibly important for people to do, but research is telling us that with people increasingly working from home or in hybrid situations, many people are literally forgetting to go outside, and it's really affecting our sleep cycles. I talk to coaching clients all the time that if we're being honest, they can forget to go outside and touch grass for days at a time. So at the very least, in the morning, during my bare minimum NOLAM gratitude morning routine, I will get outside and take 10 minutes, even if it just means walking to the end of my street and back, to breathe and get the light in my eyes. Do not underestimate the power of waking your body with the rhythm of Mother Earth and the universe. If I have the time in the morning, my kiddos and I will often do an exercise that was recommended to me by Allison Charles. She's known as the Rockstar Shaman. She recommended I go outside and say thank you to all the corners of my property, just to walk my own property, say thank you to the grass, say thank you to the trees on the property, to the wildlife that's living there that I probably wouldn't have even noticed if I was just rushing around and in my head. Thanking my home, my shelter, and my property, including all of the beautiful trees that have been there so long and hold so much ancestral wisdom, really makes a difference. It sets me up for the rest of my day to really come from the heart in a place of gratitude. And number 4, engagement. So let's be honest here. It's really easy to be not so nice to those closest to us. Now, don't go beating yourself up. Getting snippy or short-tempered with your partner or with your kids is a normal human shortcoming. Here's why. Our relationships are a practice. It's like any other part of our system. They shouldn't be on cruise control. Your relationships are flowers in your garden. You need to water them. I bet you know what I'm going to say next. An easy way to water those flowers is through gratitude. Quite simply, being mindful. Instead of complaining about the way that your husband makes the coffee, try thanking him for being kind enough to make it. Instead of barking at your 4-year-old for taking 25 minutes to put on his socks, try telling him that you're grateful that he's so brave that he tried to do it himself. We all have that older family member that tends to get on our nerves from time to time, and when they call, we kind of roll our eyes. Try giving them a text and telling them that you're really grateful for their presence in your life and thank them for sharing all those wonderful older stories with you. Now, I know this might seem obvious, but it's not, because most of us forget to do it on a day-to-day basis. So if this becomes part of your morning routine with intentionality, it can really change the game. Think about how many times you've gone into the day in a bad mood because you've had a bad interaction with a friend or family member. It's so easy to get caught up in what's not. Taking a moment to recognize what is can increase your own personal happiness and can also deploy a feeling of connectedness and gratitude for the other person. Remember, feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it. And finally, you knew I was going to say this one as a fitness and wellness expert. We can't overlook the M for movement. There's so many overwhelming studies that show that moving your body first thing in the morning is really helpful and important. And I'm not going to go into all the science, but I'm going to tell you is this. What I've found is that having a disciplined practice of some sort of movement, it's going to change the game. And it's less about being transactional with burning calories and more about having a consistent discipline in your life. It also helps us just move and lube things up, right? The fascia is the hydraulic system of the body. We got to get our circulatory system going. We got to get our muscles stretched out. So whether you're doing a high intensity HIIT workout to really burn those calories because that's your jam, and look, I love a good endorphins boost in the morning, or you're just getting out there to take a nice power walk or get your body moving with a little bit of light yoga, it is an important thing to do as much for the exercise as for the discipline and the practice. You with me? Okay. There's also just something that we get from that morning workout where all of a sudden things that seemed impossible seem possible. You gain confidence when you prove to yourself that you can do hard things. You know, I learned a huge lesson when I was running my first half marathon. I was out there running. And if you've ever run for any length of time before, you know this feeling. You're running. You're looking down at your feet, step after step, really to avoid the cracks. You don't want to trip and fall on your face, but you're just focused on your feet as you plod along and you think, God, I hate running. When is this over? How many more miles? How many more minutes? When can I stop this horrible thing? And then something takes you, right? Maybe it's a little cue from the universe. Something from above says, hey, lift your eye level. And you raise your gaze from your feet to the horizon, to the skyline. All of a sudden, your entire perspective changes. You raise those eyes. All of a sudden, you see the blue sky. All of a sudden, in your periphery, you see runners around you. Hey, the other humans. Hey, this is kind of cool. You realize I have 2 feet on which to run. I have 2 lungs with which to breathe. And all of a sudden, running doesn't suck so much. These are the little moments of grace that running and exercise that they give us, right? They're the moments where we're reminded of our power, of how amazing life is, of what it feels like to be alive. Once you've finished your workout, even if it's short, you really get that feeling that I can do anything. And studies show that this sticks with you into your day. Don't think of it as burning calories. Think of it as lighting your flame within. I'll end with this, my one last little practical tip. Your morning routine starts the night before. So anything that you're going to do to set yourself up for success in the morning should be done the night before. That means tidying up, putting out your clothes for that workout, getting out your journal and your pen and putting it next to that bowl that's being prepared for your oatmeal and anything else you might need, because mornings are tough enough. So anything you can do to set yourself up the night before for a successful, bare minimum morning routine is going to do you a big service. And don't forget, get to bed on time. Dr. Wayne Dyer says, we don't attract what we want, we attract what we are. So start your day like a consistent champ instead of rolling into your first meeting disorganized, and you'll start inviting the right kind of energy into your life. I hope this was helpful and that you've enjoyed getting to learn a little bit about gratitudeology and how you can integrate it into your day. If you want to learn more about me or any of my programs, you can reach me over at NYCFitFam on Instagram. I have a website called thebigaskmethod.com where I do coaching, and to book me for keynote speaking, it's meetjamiehess.com.